All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Tuesday, October 25th, 2022, and of course, we just finished with Week 7, so it's only natural that Week 8 is coming up, and, well, Week 7, we did all right. We went 10-4. We just missed on a few games. The good news about last week is that we did well enough that we finally got back over the 500 mark this season, so let's go, 55-52-1 overall picks record. We did it. We back up in the 500s. Let's hope we pick well enough here in Week 8 to get, to keep ourselves in line and keep ourselves going good heading into for the rest of the season. Hopefully we have another 10+ win week. In terms of let's jump into it and get started here, but again, if you can, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, all that YouTube mumbo jumbo, leave your picks down below. I'll be sure to comment back. I pretty much get to every single comment as long as I see it. Likes and all that, and subscribing and leaving comments help the video perform better. And I know it's annoying to put this in the beginning, and I apologize for doing so, but it literally does help the video out. It's something I've been noticing and like doing, like checking out and whatnot. So anyway, let's get past that YouTube stuff. I appreciate you guys liking all the videos, leaving all the comments, subscribing. Thank you very much. It's helped the channel out tremendously. We're growing again, so thank you guys so much. Let's look at the bye weeks this week, right? Week 8, we only have 2 bye weeks, so that means we have a full slate of, well, not full slate. We have 15 games, just 1 game missing from the overall schedule. It's the Chiefs and Chargers, so again, if you're a fan of one of these two teams, you can watch like the Raiders or Broncos lose. You can root for your other team that you kind of maybe like a little bit. But, Chiefs and Chargers, they get the week off, so, let's jump into games. We got a lot to go over. Thursday night football, we have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ravens coming off a 23-20 win versus the Browns, and the Bucs coming off a rather rough loss to the Panthers at 21-3, in which they looked pretty miserable. Ravens are 1.5-point favorites with an over-under of 45.5. Normally, I'd like to pick the Bucs in this game because I don't really like to pick against Brady, especially after a tough loss like that. But I think since this is on a short week and a lot of the problems for the Buccaneers are primarily through the offensive line and blocking Brady and giving him enough time and all that, and just like general offensive cohesion, I think a defense like the Ravens, who can get after the quarterback, put good pressure on an offensive line, is probably the last team on a short week a team like Tampa Bay really wants to deal with. Not enough time to really like super game plan for anything, not enough time to practice or like maybe see some new linemen, like a new line alignment. So I think if this was on Sunday, the Buccaneers would have a little bit better shot in this one, but seeing as this is like the short week, offensive line problems, Baltimore's a known like go after the quarterback team, I like the Ravens to win this game 24-20. Oh, by the way, the lines are included, but I don't pick any of my games until I don't put the lines in from FanDuel.com until after I make all my picks. So these are just there for like your own reference, so you know who's favored, and if you like to gamble and whatnot, it's there for you. But gamble responsibly. I don't personally do it, but the lines are there just for whatever. All right, this game is in London. It's in London. It's at 9:30 a.m. I know I put the asterisk there to remind myself, because the last time I didn't specifically mention a game was in London, I got so many comments. Hey man, that Packers game is in London. But yes, the Denver Broncos and Jacksonville Jaguars from London will be playing. The Jaguars are 3-point favorites with an over/under of 39.5, and the asterisk is there again for the to be in London. The Broncos are coming off a 16-9 loss to the Jets. The Jaguars are coming off a 23-17 win versus the Giants. Loss versus the Giants. Sorry. I don't know what I was doing. Both teams are coming off a loss. They're both 2-5, and it's in London, so that's kind of like a home game for the Jaguars. We don't really know what the Broncos are going to have on offense. Is Russell Wilson going to play? Is it going to be Brett Rypien? And if it's Brett Rypien, I almost give this game no shot to the Broncos winning if they don't have Russell Wilson. And even with Russell, they haven't shown me enough on offense at all this season to be like, hey, we're actually a good team that can actually score football points. So until they start showing like some consistency on offense, a team that's kind of defensively oriented like the Jaguars should be able to win this game, especially if they have to run a backup quarterback, backup running back. So like the Broncos are in rough shape on offense, and the Jaguars probably could win this game. Broncos defense will keep it close though. Carolina Panthers take on the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are 4.5-point favorites with an over/under of 41.5. Panthers coming off a surprising 21-3 win versus the Bucs. The Falcons coming in, kind of a tough loss, 35-17 to the Bengals. But again, that's the Bengals. They're the Falcons. What do you expect? This game, I have very little care for. I don't really think neither of these teams are going to picture in once the season comes to a close. So, whoever you think wins this game, I'm fine with, but I think the Falcons should win this. Panthers are kind of down bad. They don't really have much of a team. Well, I mean, they have a team. They were able to beat the Bucs, but I don't know. That feels like kind of like a lucky win for them. I don't know. I didn't really think much about that game, if I'm being honest. All right, the Chicago Bears, who had an annoying win last night, versus the Dallas Cowboys, who beat the Lions 24-16. The Bears beat the Patriots 33-14, primarily on their running quarterback abilities. Cowboys come in as 9.5-point favorites with an over/under of 42.5. And yeah, I have the Cowboys winning in this game. I don't really know what happened with the Patriots on defense last night. It's like it happened with them against the Ravens too, where they just quarterbacks who can run like Fields and Lamar Jackson are so dangerous to the Patriots. They have no ability to stop them. It's really weird. So again, the Bears looked really good last night on offense, but I don't necessarily know if that was more the Patriots' inability to tackle ball carriers last night, or the Bears just suddenly found their offense. Could be one of both. It could be one or the other. I don't think it's both necessarily. So, going against the Cowboys defense, who seems to be a little bit better with running and stopping quarterbacks who can run, I kind of like the Cowboys in this one. Maybe the Bears are a little bit better than we all thought, and they're going to start winning games. But until we see a consistent kind of offensive output, they probably won't be able to win this game. Their defense is really good, though, the Bears. But I think the Cowboys should be able to pull this off. I don't know. It's just the Bears. I'm not going to overvalue the Bears beating the Patriots. That's all. Oh, here's a fun one. The Miami Dolphins take on the Detroit Lions. Dolphins are weirdly low favorites in this one. Dolphins are favored by 3.5 with an over/under of 51.5. Yeah, I have the Dolphins winning pretty handily in this one. Again, we've already gone over the Lions. They lost to the Cowboys 24-6. Wasn't a pretty game for the Lions. Their offense looks kind of dead all of a sudden. And then we have the Dolphins, who beat the Steelers 16-10. The reason I think Miami will win this game with probably not much problem is, again, the Lions defense isn't the greatest. It looked a little bit better against Dallas, but again, it still wasn't, on top. And then you also have the fact that the Miami defense is really, really good this year. It's carrying them to several of their wins. So I don't know. The Lions have faced the Patriots, Cowboys, and now Dolphins defenses in a row, and I don't think we're going to see much against this Dolphins defense either. So Dolphins should win this one pretty handily, but maybe the Lions can stick around if Miami kind of laxes up a little bit. Here's another one. The Minnesota Vikings take on the Arizona Cardinals. Minnesota's the home team. Arizona comes in off a 42-34 win on Thursday Night Football, and the Saints had a bye week. So Saints are coming up, or the Vikings had a bye week. Sorry, I misspoke. Vikings bye week, so they're coming in pretty fresh. They're ready to play the Cardinals. Vikings are 3.5-point favorites with an over/under of 48.5. Yeah, I think Arizona looked pretty good against the Saints last week, especially on offense. But then again, you have to kind of remember that if you take away those 2 pick sixes, the Saints, they only managed to score 28 points in Cardinals, which is a lot more than they had been scoring. Their offense looks a lot better with Hopkins. But again, they only still managed to score enough to lose the game without their defense and Andy Dalton and the Saints making a bad mistake on offense, which that's kind of been the Saints' Achilles heel. They can score, but they also make a lot of mistakes. And now they're going up against the Vikings team that, 1 o'clock Kirk Cousins at home. That's a whole different animal than, primetime Kirk Cousins, which doesn't exist. Primetime, I don't know. We all know Kirk Cousins by now. This is a game he can win. This is a game he usually does really well in. I don't know. Cardinals defense hasn't been that great this year based on the fact they gave up 34 to the Saints. So I think the Vikings, with a much better offense than the Saints, should be able to score. Vikings have a better defense than the Saints, so they'll be able to hold them back. That's kind of why I like the Vikings. Plus, the Vikings are just playing good football, and they're off a bye week, so that should really help too. So give me the Vikings. Las Vegas takes on the Raiders take on the Saints. 2-4 Raiders and the 2-5 Saints. As we already the Raiders are coming off a 38-20 win versus the Texans, and as we already know, the Saints lost 42-34 to the Cardinals. Raiders are 1.5 point favorites with an over/under of 48.5. And yeah, I kind of like the Raiders in this one. It's a similar thing with the Saints, as I kind of talked about. Their defense hasn't been good this year. They see, like, if you look at the Seahawks game, this game, I think there's another game where they like get into like the 20s and the other team scores into the 30s, and it's like, all right, so that's kind of a telling thing about the Saints, is they may be able to score a good amount of points, but in the end they give up way too many points. Like, they could have beat the Saints if they had just not given up 42 points. Like, I know it was on defense or on offense twice, but that, again, that's, you know, part of the problem with the Saints is they might turn the ball over a few times that could lead to scoring. It's, I don't know. The Saints don't feel like it feels like they're missing like 3 things in New Orleans and they'd be a good team. Like a slightly better line, a slightly better quarterback, and I think they'd be a good team. And like maybe one piece on defense, like another corner, and they're like right there ready to be a good team. But like, I don't know. The Raiders right now, I also think might be coming out. Like, I think they might have found how their offense works against the Texans, because they were struggling. Then suddenly it was 38-20. Like, it was like, whoa, okay, the Raiders might have actually woken up and found their offense finally. So I kind of like the Raiders. I like the momentum they have heading into this game. Again, the Raiders feel like a team that was just trying to figure out how they were going to work, whereas like the Saints feel like a team that is missing a few things that will cost them wins. So give me the Raiders overall. All right, here's a game that I think a lot of people are going to have the Jets winning, but that's quite all right. The New England Patriots take on the New York Jets. 3-4 Patriots, 5-2 Jets. Good season for them so far. The Patriots, that we've already discussed, they lost 33-14. The Jets take a 16-9 win against the Broncos. Patriots are 1.5 point favorites with an over/under of 40.5. And yeah, I'm going with the Patriots primarily because I get that the Jets defense has been playing really good, and they'll probably shut the Patriots down. For the most part, I can imagine maybe some field goals for the Patriots. I think a lot of their scoring may come on the defensive side for the Patriots. One of the things that the Jets have been getting away with this year, and it's like a lot of dropped interceptions, a lot of fortunate bounces on fumbles, a lot of turnovers that the Jets defense is able to stuff the offense on, so it's kind of like a meaningless turnover. And that's been pretty regular for the Jets offense this year. They only had, like, a lot of their wins are like these really low scoring games where like they just edge it out on a team. So I'm kind of looking at that going, all right, now they're going up against a team that's going to be really angry after a bad loss. All right, so the Patriots are going to come in super focused after a bad loss. We already know that. They already don't like the Jets, so there's that. They're going to be super ready to play the Jets. They're never not ready to play the Jets, so the Jets can't come in with any surprise in this. The Patriots are going to be ready for the defense. They're going to have an offensive game plan, hopefully. But the thing with the Jets that I think is going to be a problem is they just lost that very talented young running back. Hopefully he recovers quickly, you know, for next year and everything. So I wonder what the running game is going to look like. And then I wonder if their passing game and their running game is going to be enough to not make any mistakes. Are they going to play mistake-free football? And if they don't, which they haven't been all season, despite their 5-2 record, they have a bad offense. And if they make the amount of mistakes that they make against other teams, against the Patriots, that's a very unlikely game for the Jets to pull out. So that's what I'm kind of going on, is I think the Patriots defense will capitalize on the number of Jets mistakes that are made in the game on offense and take this game in a very, very close, like 20-17 type game. Now, do I think the Jets can win? Yeah, the Patriots haven't played good football this year, but I think the Jets make a lot of mistakes on offense, and the Patriots have beaten a few teams by capitalizing on mistakes. Look at the Lions. Lions made a lot of mistakes. Patriots scored on every single one of them. All right, this is the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. It is a 2-5 Steelers team that lost 16-10 to the Dolphins, that we discussed. Eagles coming off a bye, so they'll be well rested, ready to play. Eagles are 10.5 point favorites with an over/under of 43.5. Yeah, I got the Eagles winning. I don't know a lot of people that are going to pick the Steelers to win this, the brotherly love matchup, you know, the Pennsylvania Bowl or whatever. But, you know, I don't know. I think the Eagles go to 7-0. I think their defense shuts down the Steelers' offense. I think their offense can do whatever they want to the Steelers' defense for the most part. Doesn't seem like much of a game. All right, let's go to the 4 o'clock games. The Tennessee Titans take on the Houston Texans. Titans are 1.5 point favorites with an over/under of 40.5. We already know the Texans game. The Titans swept the Colts 19-10. So yeah, that is a season sweep for the Colts. or for the Titans over the Colts. The Titans are 4-2, the quietest 4-2 team in the NFL. And yeah, they'll probably handle the Texans quite well, who have not played good at all this year. And I don't know what they're going to do, but yeah, give me the Titans over the Texans in what won't be a good game. Here's my upset pick of the weekend. It's the Washington Commanders taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Colts are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 40.5. The Commanders upset the Packers 23-21, and we just talked about the Colts, and they lost and got swept. Right now, I just don't think the Colts are a good team. They switched from Matt Ryan to Sam Ellinger. Ellinger, I don't know how to say his name, who cares? Because of the fact that their offensive line is so bad, and Matt Ryan is such an immobile statue that they have really no other option other than to go with a guy who can extend plays with his feet. I think when you're playing a team like the Commanders, who can actually apply a pretty good pass rush with a good defensive front, that is going to be a nightmare for the Colts. I think that the Commanders defense showed that they can shut offenses down like they just did to the Packers, and I don't think the Colts have nearly as good offense as the Packers can have. So yeah, I like the upset. This feels just like an upset. Like the Colts haven't played well enough for me to go, even if the Colts shut down this Commanders defense, I think the Commanders defense shuts down this like lost Colts offense. Give me the Commanders in an upset. Yeah, this is like the obvious one, right? San Francisco 49ers take on the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are favored by, or the 49ers are favored by 1.5. Rams coming off a bye, but then the 49ers coming off a 44-23 loss to the Chiefs. Does not matter about anything with these two teams. The Rams are struggling this year. The 49ers are struggling. We all, you know, it's Kyle Shanahan versus Sean McVay. Who do you think is going to win? Just, you know, if McVay wins, I have no problem being wrong in this one. It's not a big deal, but until he actually can beat him in like the regular season, not the playoffs, give me the 49ers over the Rams. That's just like a free game almost. All right, last 4 o'clock game. It's the New York Giants taking on the Seattle Seahawks, two of the year's biggest surprise teams, because a lot of people probably thought Seattle might be 1-6 or 0-7 at this point. But hey, look at Seattle. Look at Geno Smith. He's cooking something fierce. The Seahawks are favored by 3 points with an over/under of 44.5. The Seahawks did just beat the Chargers 37-23. I like added something, and we already know the Giants won their game 23-17 versus the Jags. So when I look at this game, I just wonder if the Seahawks are going to be able to perform the way they can on offense versus a defense that's been as good as the Giants and as smothering as the Giants defense has been. That's my main question. Can they handle it? And can they handle the fact that the Giants can run the football, run clock, don't give the team a lot of opportunities? It's one of those things where it's like either team doesn't feel very comfortable to pick, but I'm going to go with the team that's been winning a lot of games, 6-1, playing good defense, running the ball well, good coaching, versus a team that they're really good on offense. Their defense has a little bit to be desired, but they've looked better the last couple weeks. I don't know. I don't feel good about this pick. I'm sorry, Giants fans, for picking your team, but you know, I think you guys are just a little bit too good on defense. I think you guys can shut down their offense and can maybe do something on defense. Or you guys will probably have your best offensive game against Seattle, so probably able to run like crazy. So imagine Saquon has a big rushing day. Daniel Jones probably has a decent passing day, as most quarterbacks have against the Seahawks. And yeah, give me the Giants. I like them a little more. Sunday Night Football, it's the Green Bay Packers taking on the Buffalo Bills. Bills are favored by 10.5 with an over/under of 47.5. Bills coming off a bye, Packers coming off a loss to the Commanders. Yeah, this might be the first time I've ever looked at this game and when I don't think the Packers actually have a shot to win this game, especially with the way that they performed on offense. I don't know if their offense will be able to do much of anything versus the Bills defense that's been unreal this year so far, especially up front, and the Packers are struggling on O-line. How are they going to contain Vaughn, this Bills pass rush? Then you look at the secondary, they're going to shut these receivers down. Like, I don't know. And the Packers defense might be able to somewhat hold the Bills back, but it's like, can the offense keep up at all? I don't think so. Give me the Bills in a pretty easy win, but I think the Packers can cover 10.5, but I like Buffalo to win by like 28-23. Plus, off a bye week, they're probably pretty dangerous at home, so they're really prepared for the Packers coming up. All right, Monday Night Football. What do we got? Oh, the Bengals and the Browns. This seems like a mismatch. Even though it's an AFC North game and these division games are always kind of close. Bengals are favored by 3 with an over-under of 47. The Bengals are all the way back. They seem to be back into their skin. They seem comfortable again. They seem all the way warmed up. Like I've been telling people, hey, give them a moment. When they're 6-3, I'm going to ask everybody if that 0-2 start meant anything. So I like the Bengals here. I think they're playing really good on offense. Their team seems to be gelling. Defense is getting a little bit better each week. Whereas with the Browns, I think we've reached the end of what Jacoby Brissett's effectiveness can be. Because I have a theory that backup quarterbacks are good for up to 4 to 5 games. And then that's when things start falling off. Teams figure out how to play them. They remember they start being able to like coach for idiosyncrasies of the backup. Like oh, he throws from this angle, so we block from that angle. We know to jump when he throws it because we can swat the ball at the line. We know where his underthrows go, so we kind of have guys like cheating back to it, like on deep throws to go to like a possible misthrow. Like it's all those small things that you learn about a quarterback from about 4 games worth of tape. Now they have it. I think teams are utilizing that, and the Browns are going to struggle. Again, they'll probably be able to stay in this simply because it is a division game, but I kind of think the Bengals are playing way too good right now. They're white hot, so look out. All right, that's all my picks. Again, here's all of them through the year. Again, 55, 52 and 1, 10 and 4 last week. So hopefully this week we have a kind of similar feel to it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, thank you so much if you made it all the way through here to the end. I appreciate it. Again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments down below, all that YouTube shit, mumbo jumbo, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it for this week. Probably going to end this up here pretty quick, so it's not over 21 minutes. Yeah, week 8 down the drain, week 8 complete. Hopefully week 8's a good week for us and we get 10 plus wins and keep our newly found 500 record alive and strong. All right, that's about that. Thank you guys so much for listening again. If you made it all the way through, again, thank you so much. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day, night, morning, mid-afternoon, midday, evening, whatever time you happen to listen to this. Hopefully it's a good one, a good rest of it anyway. And yeah, thank you so much. Remember, it's always go Lions, go Tigers, and of course it's go Patriots. And I'll see you on the next one. I'll see you on the next upload on Thursday. I'll see you on the next live stream on Wednesday. I'll see you around. See you when I see you. Peace out. Bye-bye.